What's up, YouTube? This is Bullseye Nate 231, and today we're going to be taking a look at this 2012 Nissan Rogue. So it is currently stuck in the downward position on the back. This car was being detailed, and they moved the seat back to clean it, and so now it won't go back up. I pretty much have disassembled everything that I could while the car was intact. I've taken apart the switch there, all this stuff, these clips, but this video is going to basically show you how to fix this and how to disassemble the seat. Okay, the motor for this seat is actually inside of here, right in there, as you can see. Nissan does not sell a replacement motor for this seat. They want you to purchase the entire seat, and so that seat is $2,400 from the Nissan dealership. So and then that would be you doing all the labor, putting your leathers, covers back on, and all that good stuff. But so basically what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you how to remove this seat, and I'm going to show you try to figure out if I can disconnect the motor and operate this seat manually. See if there's some kind of manual release, which hopefully there is. If not, I'll go the route of getting a seat just like this from my local junkyard. All right, so the first thing you're going to do to take out the seat is you're going to need a T-50. T-50 looks like this. It's a kind of like a star. So a T-50, there's going to be 4 bolts. I've actually already started doing this. So you don't want to disconnect the power yet unless you have a manual seat. But if you have a manual seat, you're probably not dealing with this. So what you're going to do is you're going to push the car all the way back. I'm not the car, but the seat all the way back using your control switch. And you're going to basically loosen these 2 front bolts. Okay, so the first thing I did was loosen those bolts. Again, that is a T-50. I'm using a 3/8 drive. And then after you loosen these front ones, you're going to push this button and slide the seat all the way forward this way, and you're going to see a little black cover like this. I've actually never done this before, so I'm doing a step-by-step with you for the first time. But you see a little black cover like this in there. Just take a little screwdriver, stick it in that hole, and pull that out. And underneath, you're going to reveal one of these. Okay, so go ahead and take these out on the back completely. Okay, take those out completely on the back. I actually did this from inside the car back here. So with the seat all moved all the way back, you can get to them pretty easily. It's not a big deal. Okay, so take those out completely, and then come back to the front, move the seat all the way back again, and then you come back to the front and you take the front ones out completely. Remember, you're just loosening these a little bit in the beginning. I like to leave these first to be last, so that, like, as you can see, the seat is rocking. After you do that, you want to get a 10mm socket. I forgot to start filming before I started here. You're going to get a 10mm socket, and you're going to disconnect your negative battery terminal, then your positive. And that's going to eliminate power to your seat so that the actual airbags and seat controls and all those things, none of those things will malfunction while you're moving the seat. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do after you disconnect the battery, please ensure that you disconnect the battery. There is an airbag in this this seat. Again, this will probably be the same for like 2008 through 2013, and very similar for all other Rogue models. So now that we've got the seat ready to come out, don't just pull it out of there, because we want to first disconnect anything that is going to hinder us from taking the seat actually out of the vehicle. So if we look down in here, you should see some power cords somewhere that come out of the floor. Okay, that's going to be these right here. Okay, those 2 we need to make sure we disconnect so that the seat doesn't get hung up on anything as we're taking it out. All right, so these are just standard clips. Push in and you pull, I might need two hands to do this. So those are just standard clips. You push and pull the release. There we go. There's that one. Okay. So as you can see, this pulls back. If you can see that. And then the bottom one, we do the same. Get my nail in there. All right, so the bottom one was a little bit more difficult. What I actually did was I got a screwdriver, and as you can see that hole right there, I stuck my hand in this hole like that. And then the other hand, I have the camera, so I can't do it. But I pushed the clip, and then with the other hand, I pulled from the clip itself. Don't try not to pull on the wires, because you never want to pull the wires out of the connector. And so I went ahead and grabbed it with my left hand and pushed the clip with my right hand with the screwdriver. That seemed to work pretty well. Okay, once those two things are disconnected, the only other thing holding you is going to be this zip tie. So you can either cut that zip tie, which I don't recommend. It actually is a little insert. It's a little clip that goes in and then opens up on the other end. So I'm going to get on the other side and push it in and push it through, so that once we get the seat back in the vehicle, we can clip it back on and those wires won't be coming out of place. The yellow one is going to be your airbags, and then the bottom is going to be just your power for everything else that's feeding the seat. All right, so removing the seat is ready to come out. As you can see, I got that little piece disconnected. What I did was I took these little angle pliers and I stuck them in over the top, pulled it tight, and as you can see, I pushed these two little pins in and then pulled it through. So now I can reattach that once I reinstall my seat. Okay, so since my seat is in the downward position, even if it was in the upward position, probably what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to fold it forward, pull it and put it up on its side, and then it'll slide around the vehicle right out. All right, so as you can see, I got the seat out, and after further inspection, I'm gonna try to take this top section off so that maybe I can get to the motor. There is not a manual release anywhere on here that I'm seeing. So I'm gonna have to actually get to the motor itself and maybe take apart the gearbox to move it. So again, this is because they do not sell replacements for this. You have to purchase the entire seat. So what you're gonna need is a 5 millimeter Allen wrench or hex key. And so you're gonna take off this silver hex bolt. There's gonna be one up here at the top, that silver hex bolt. Not that one, just the one right here. And then you're gonna take off these, which I believe are 15 millimeter sockets. There's 4 of those, 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. Basically what that's gonna do is remove this, and then I'll just have this little piece, this little lip that I'm dealing with trying to get to move, rather than this whole thing be connected while I'm trying to work on it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop all those bolts out, and then I'll show you what I do next. All right, so here we are with the top off. This seat is not designed to be worked on at all. However, I was able to get it freed up. I took the gearbox off. That didn't get me anywhere. There were 2 notches in the gears that are broken, but that was just because the seat was bound up. I took the top of the motor off and I tried to twist the motor manually. It would wind up and click because of the broken gears inside of here. After that, I was pretty much hopeless. So there was probably no way to get this done except go to the junkyard and get another one. Just after some beating and massaging, I assume the problem is actually inside of here, and there's actually no way to work on that specific section of the seat. And so what we got here is just some persuasion with this. I beat on here a few times. You can see here, the bar is kind of chewed up. That's because I've been using vice grips on it. I'm going to show you how to adjust it here in a second manually. But there is no actual manual release for it, unfortunately. But just through beating on it, and I beat on here and then beat on the other side, back and forth on the rod a little bit. And the seat was actually free to be able to turn up. So let me show you what I did with the vice grip. I took the vice grips and I put them right here like that. And then if you rotate up, that lifts your seat forward towards you. If you rotate down, that pushes your seat back. So I rotated up to get it about where I want it. I think I want it. And then I'm going to put the back on and put the seat back in the car. All right, so we're back at the vehicle. I've got the seat in a kind of where I think it might need to be. I went ahead and left out this part of the seat so that if I need to get in there, I can reach in there and turn the rod with the vice grips. So I'm gonna go ahead and place the seat back in the vehicle and put the T-50 bolts back in the floor. Also, a quick note, there's a pin on this side of the seat that goes through the floor. That makes sure that pin gets in the right hole. And then also the bolts that hold this back piece on, I think I say were 15 millimeter. I thought they were actually 14 millimeters, so I was one off on that. But we got it all put back together. I'm gonna put it back in the vehicle and see how it works. All right, so as you can see, I've got the seat all back in the vehicle. It is no longer laying down. I got the bolts twisted back in. I went ahead and put everything on the other side because there's no way to access that. I'm gonna put this panel on. This actually broke the plate that goes over this, so I'm gonna order a new one for a couple bucks, just a plastic piece on Amazon. That is just the control switch module cover, and so I'll snap that back on as soon as I get that back in. It's just a couple bucks, so I'm gonna order one of those, and then everything will be ready to go with this seat again, with the manual crank, but everything else still functions properly, moving forward and backward electrically. It just doesn't move forward and backward on the back anymore. If you're going to attempt this on your seat, it will save you a lot of money, but it will take some time to figure out how to take this seat apart. I had never done anything like this before, so it took me some time to figure it out as I was going, and so I tried to be as descriptive as I could while I was doing it, telling you what I was doing. So if you want to attempt it, follow these steps and you should be able to accomplish this. It'll save you about $3,000 on buying a new seat, which is crazy that they don't make this thing that it can be worked on. But thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful. There are not any videos on anything like this, so I wanted to be sure to document it for you best I could. But don't forget to subscribe and hit that like and comment with any questions you may have. Y'all have a great one.